Gee whiz.
Hello, friends. I'm John Henderson. Welcome to this series of old-time radio show episodes called Gee Whiz. These are the stories of the schemes, trials, and loves of the typical American teenagers, Andy Hardy, Archie Andrews, and Henry Aldrich. And we start things off with a great episode of The Aldrich Family, and it's perfect for Gee Whiz because they say the phrase Gee Whiz so many times in this episode. Another phrase that you've probably heard is mad money, when you carry around a little cash in case of emergencies. That phrase actually comes from a time when it was traditional for a man to pay for a lady on a date, for everything. Pick her up in his car, pay for all the food or movie or whatever, and then take her home. But in case they got in a fight during the date, a lady might carry around a little bit of money in her purse in case she got mad, her get mad money. So here is The Aldrich Family from April 21st, 1949.
And now the Jell-O Family presents...
Henry Aldrich.
Come in, Mother.
Yes, it's the Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelt as Homer. And yes, it's the Jell-O Family.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings. Yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings. Yes, sirree.
And now for the Aldrich Family. Right in the middle of everyone's memories, there is always a teenage boy. And if he's like Henry Aldrich, he's right in the middle of plenty of other things, too. The scene is the Aldrich living room. The time is evening.
Alice!
In here, Sam.
Where's the extra leaf for the dining room table?
Why, dear?
I thought I'd have the committee work in there, and we're going to need lots of room.
Well, let me see. The last time I saw that leaf, Henry was using it on his bed for a desk.
A desk?
Yes, he was doing his homework.
In bed?
Dear, that's the place he seems to concentrate best. I'll ask him what he did with it.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yes, but...
Alice, I've been trying to get the financial committee together for weeks, and we'll need all the peace and quiet we can get.
Sam, I give you my word, Henry will be at the school play where he can't possibly bother you. Meanwhile, why not sit down?
What for?
You're all flushed.
I'm all right.
Dear, I've been married to you long enough to know when you're flushed. Now, I remember it's in the hall closet.
What is?
You see how overheated you are? The leaf for the dining room table.
Mother, I'm leaving.
In here, dear.
Good night, Mother. Good night, Father.
Good night, Henry.
Turn around. Let me see how you look.
Mother.
Dear, why are you wearing that old blue tie? Why didn't you wear that nice one Aunt Harriet gave you for Christmas? The red one.
The red one, Mother? To the theater? Gee whiz, do you want Gladys to think I have no breeding?
Well, I suppose it's all right. Now, do you have your ticket?
Gee whiz, sure, right here.
A hanky?
I've got two of them. One up here, one down here.
Did you tie your money up in it?
Gee, Mother, how juvenile do you think I am?
Henry, you've got to learn not to ask leading questions.
What about the pins in your new shirt? Did you get them all out?
Of course.
Well, check the tails again. I wouldn't want you to sit on a pin and ruin your entire evening.
I give you my word, Mother, there isn't a pin on me. And, boy, I better get going. This is my first date with Gladys, and I don't want to keep her waiting. Good night, all.
Drive carefully, dear.
And be sure you've got enough gas.
There's plenty, Father. I checked the car from head to toe this afternoon. I even washed it.
Alice, was that our son?
My goodness, he certainly seemed to have everything in hand, didn't he?
Doesn't that please you?
I'm not sure.
What?
I mean, Sam, he doesn't seem to need us anymore.
He'll always need his allowance.
Yes, I'm serious. He's growing up.
It was inevitable, Alice. It's nothing to cry about.
I'm not crying. It's just... Sam, I feel like I've suddenly lost my little boy.
Mother!
Oh, my goodness. Henry, what's wrong?
My shoes, Mother. Where are my shoes?
Oh, what?
My shoes. I ran out of the house in my bedroom slippers.
They must be up in your room.
Oh, boy.
Don't run, dear. You're losing your trousers.
Gee whiz, did I forget my belt, too?
Henry, you better check everything again.
Yes, Mother. And while I'm doing that, would you please look up Gladys's address in the phone book? I never asked for where she lives.
Yes, dear. Oh, my goodness.
Alice, it looks like your little boy has come back.
Is this the row we're in, Henry?
Sure, Gladys, and I certainly want to apologize. Boy, I never realized row X was way back here.
Henry, I don't mind, really.
You don't?
No. As a matter of fact, I understand this is a play you want to see from as far back as possible. Shall we go to our seats?
Oh, sure. 7th and 8th seats in. Would you excuse us, please?
Excuse us.
Excuse us?
Ouch!
Oh, hi, Cynthia. Excuse us.
Oh, my goodness. Henry, look what's right in front of me.
Oh, boy, where did that pole come from? Here, Gladys, you take my seat.
Henry, I can really see fine if I just tilt a little.
Well, gee whiz, Gladys, I couldn't have you tilted on our first date. It wouldn't be polite. Let's change.
Well, all right. May I have my program now, please?
Your program? Oh, boy, how did I forget that? Excuse me, I'll be right back. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Ouch!
Oh, hi, Cynthia. Excuse me. Excuse me. Say, Charlie, could I have 2 programs, please?
Sure, Hen, here.
Thanks. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Ouch! Listen, Henry.
Oh, gee whiz, Cynthia, did I get you again? Excuse me. Excuse me. Here, Gladys.
Thank you, Henry. Hey, Henry.
Oh, gee whiz.
Who's that?
Homer Brown. Boy, some people never grow up.
What do you mean?
Imagine yelling all over a public place like that. Boy, I certainly want to apologize for him.
I don't mind. I think he's cute.
Cute? Homer Brown cute?
And isn't that a nice necktie he's wearing?
That red one?
Yes. Did you know that red's my favorite color?
Well, gee whiz.
Henry, I think the orchestra's getting ready to start the overture. Could I have my purse, please?
Your purse? You mean I have it?
Didn't I give it to you just before we left my house?
Oh, gee whiz, no.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I must have left it on the hall table. What am I going to do?
I don't think anyone will steal it, Gladys.
Henry, would you be a dear and hop into your car and run home for us?
Now?
Henry, please. I don't have my handkerchief. And I understand this is a very sad play.
Well, I wouldn't mind lending you one of mine.
Yours?
Yeah, I've got one up here and one down here.
Henry, I certainly can't borrow your lipstick.
What's that?
That's in my purse, too.
For Gladys, you won't need more lipstick until I take you home.
Henry, if you must know, my glasses are in the purse.
Glasses?
Henry, now, thank you not to shout.
Well, gee, Gladys, I didn't know you needed glasses.
I don't. I just wear them to keep my mother happy.
Suppose we don't tell your mother.
Henry, if you don't get them, I'll be miserable all evening.
But Gladys...
Very well, Henry, very well. But I'm certainly glad I found out how you feel about me early in our friendship.
But Gladys, I didn't... Well, that is naturally... Well, if it's that important, I'd be glad to get you your purse.
Henry, I knew you were a gentleman. And you'll hurry back, won't you?
Sure.
Because I'll be awfully lonely without you.
Oh, boy. I'll be back before you know it. Excuse me.
The purse is on the whole table.
Yeah, sure. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ouch!
Hi, Henry.
Boy, well, Willie. Boy, a fine parking attendant you are.
Listen, Henry, stop blaming it on me.
Well, who else can I blame it on? Gee whiz, look at all the cars parked in front of
I
mine.
parked everybody's car as they came in. What'd you come so early for?
To avoid trouble. Get me out, Willie. Get me out.
I will, just as soon as I study the situation.
Listen, I have to go all the way back for Gladys's glasses, and the play's going to start any minute.
Henry, Mr. Nelson hired me to take charge of the parking lot, and I'm not going off half-cocked. Now, the way I figure it, all I have to do is move this mast back and that Jeep out, and then you can slip your car through the space.
I can?
Sure, I'll move it. Keep an eye on my rear.
Willie, if you ask me...
Henry, I know what I'm doing. How's my back bumper?
Fine.
I'm clearing back.
Sure.
Here I come.
Keep her coming. Keep her coming. Oh, boy.
Henry, I thought you said I was clearing back.
You were. It was your front bumper that hit. Pull up. Hold it, Willie. Hold it.
What's wrong now?
The bumpers are locked.
They are? Well, what do you know?
Well, just don't stand there, Willie. Do something.
Well, let's not lose our heads, Hen. Now, all I have to do is move that sedan up front, and we'll have the whole thing wet.
Willie, that's crazy. If you're going to move anything, it should be this red convertible.
Henry, you're the one who's crazy. It's the sedan.
The convertible.
Listen, Henry, are you insinuating I don't know the parking business?
Now, where were we, gentlemen?
Right in the middle of fiscal expenses, Mr. Aldrich.
Oh, yes.
Shouldn't we wait until Ferguson gets back?
Mr. Harris, this statement has to be ready for the meeting tomorrow.
Well, why did Ferguson have to go to the school anyway?
It seems, Mr. Kilmer, he lent his car to his son, and now his bumpers are locked with another car.
Well, that shouldn't take very long.
Yes, but before they can straighten that out, they have to get the rest of the parking lot untangled. I think we better go on without him.
Yes, I suppose so.
Now, I think the best way to start is to figure out our assets.
Assets? Mr. Aldrich, we don't have any assets. The club is $250 in the red, and everyone knows it.
I know, Mr. Harris.
I make a motion. We just make up a report saying we owe $250 and not worry the club about how it happened.
Now, Mr. Harris.
I second the motion. How about some bridge? Good.
Now, Mr. Kilmer.
Listen, Henry, what's the idea of calling me out of the auditorium at a time like this?
I had to, Homer.
But String Bean Kittinger's playing the old aunt, and I think she's just about to get murdered.
But, Homer...
I've been looking forward to that since the curtain went up.
But, Homer, I can't get my car out of the parking lot. I'll have to take a streetcar. Gee whiz, this is the first date I've had with her.
What?
Homer, don't you understand?
The only part I got was you have a date with a streetcar.
No, Homer, with Gladys Prentice. So won't you please do me a favor and sit with her?
Me?
So she won't be lonesome.
Nothing doing, Henry.
But, Homer...
I saw that pole right in front of your seat.
Pole? There's a pole there?
You know darn well.
Homer, I hardly even noticed it. That's how infinitesimal it is.
Infinitesimal?
Honest. And gee whiz, if you lean a little, you hardly know it's there.
Oh, no. When I get off balance, I get a headache.
Look, is it worth a quarter to you?
No.
50 cents.
50?
Well, gee whiz, you should be willing to have a little headache for that kind of money.
Okay, I'll do it.
Gee, thanks, Homer.
75.
Now listen.
Henry, the headache and the pole are worth at least 75 cents.
But that hardly leaves me enough for sodas.
Okay, Henry, step aside.
Well, where are you going?
Back to my seat and watch String Bean get done in.
Okay, Homer, okay. Here's your 75 cents.
Thanks.
Tell Gladys I'll be back before she knows it.
Okay.
Inspector, is Auntie?
Yes, Miss Hotchkiss. She's been murdered.
Oh, gee whiz, already?
I'd better inspect the body.
Excuse me. Could I get in this row? Thanks. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Ouch!
Oh, hi, Cynthia.
Sam, I feel terribly guilty about having to leave.
Yes, of course.
But I'm sure you and Mr. Kilmer can appreciate my position. After all, you have children of your own.
Yes, but couldn't Mrs. Harris take the saddle shoes down to your daughter, Cynthia?
I have the car, Mr. Aldrich.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but I'm certainly going to speak very sharply to Cynthia about interrupting our meeting like this. I was against her wearing open-toe shoes from the start.
Well, if you must go, you must.
Well, and if I don't come right back, I may not.
No, we won't.
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Aldrich, I've just finished adding up those figures.
Yes?
And according to my addition, we have $194 in the bank.
What? That's impossible. We have a deficit.
I know. I must have gone off somewhere.
Let me see those figures.
Here.
Mr. Kilmer, you've added our membership to our assets.
I have? My.
Oh, boy. Excuse me.
Hey, fella, where do you think you're going?
Into the auditorium. Have I missed much?
Only the first act. Let me see your ticket.
Ticket? You already took it.
Me?
Well, maybe not you, but somebody took it.
Look, fella, try a new one. You're the third guy who's tried that excuse tonight.
Well, but it isn't any excuse. My girl's inside waiting for me.
Yeah?
In row X.
Now, I know you're a gate crasher. There isn't an empty seat in that row.
Well, sure, naturally. Homer's in it.
Look, I have strict orders not to let anyone in without a ticket, and that's that. So stand back, fella.
But, gee whiz, I sold more tickets for this darn play than anyone in school. Ask Miss Eddie. She knows I had a ticket.
Miss Eddie isn't here.
What? At a time?
Look, fella, why not stop trying to be a welcher and give me $1 and I'll sell you a ticket?
But, gee whiz, all I have left is 50 cents.
Well, can't you borrow the rest?
Borrow it?
Sure.
Well, that's an idea. Could you loan me 50 cents?
Now, wait a minute.
Well, I just...
Whose purse is that?
Oh, that's just it, my girl's, and she can't see a thing without it.
Well, why not see if she's got as much as $1 in there?
Open Gladys's purse?
Sure, girls always carry get-mad money.
Oh, I couldn't.
Why not?
She might get mad. Besides, what would she think of my character?
Listen, it'll just be a loan, won't it? It isn't as though you won't pay her back.
No.
Well?
Okay. Stand back while I open it.
Do you see any money?
Not yet. Could you hold a few of these things?
Okay.
Here's her comb, notebook, glasses, library card, keychain, compact, a map. Left glove, hanky, another glove.
Left or right?
Left.
How about money?
Well, I think I hear something rattling near the bottom. Here's her mirror, mending tape, needle and thread. Lifesavers.
What flavor?
Hey, don't. That's Gladys's. Oh, look out.
Everything's slipping.
Oh, boy.
Wait a minute. Where are you going?
Her lipstick just rolled under the auditorium door.
I told you, fella, you don't go in there without a ticket.
Now listen, fella.
Listen yourself, fella.
The big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings. Yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings. Yes, sirree. Yes, and there are dozens and dozens of swell treats you can make with the Jell-O family of yum-yum desserts. And here's a grand new combination to surprise the folks with tomorrow. Maple nut tapioca, made with luscious, light, and mellow Jell-O vanilla tapioca pudding. Just prepare a package of Jell-O vanilla tapioca as usual. Then chill and serve with log cabin syrup topped with chopped nut meat sautéed in a little butter. It's a wonderful dessert. Delicious Jell-O vanilla tapioca with tangy maple syrup and crunchy nut meats. Try all three Jell-O tapioca puddings. Jell-O chocolate, vanilla, and orange coconut tapioca. They're ready prepared. All you do is add milk, and they take about 5 minutes to cook. Look for them on your grocer's dessert shelf. Jell-O tapioca pudding. And now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Henry left the performance of the school play in order to get Gladys's purse. But when he returned, he couldn't get back in without his ticket. Meanwhile, he's hired Homer to sit with Gladys and keep her company. The scene opens in the auditorium just as the second act is ending.
Hello? What's this?
Inspector, is it a clue?
Yes, Miss Hotchkiss. A very
Vital clue.
vital clue. And if this doesn't lead us to the killer, my name isn't Inspector Hornblow of Scotland Yard.
Oh, my goodness, that was even more thrilling than the first act.
Did you really enjoy it, Gladys?
My, yes. I guess I grabbed your arm a couple of times, didn't I, Homer?
Gee, I didn't mind. Would you like to go out to the hall for another glass of water?
No, I don't think so.
That's good. Boy, did that Cynthia Harris step on my toe the last time. I wonder where Henry is.
Henry?
Henry Aldrich. Aren't you worried about him?
Well, it wouldn't be very polite to be worried, do you think?
It wouldn't?
No, it would mean I wasn't having a good time with you.
Oh. You mean you are?
Don't I seem to be?
Gee, it's suddenly gotten warm in here.
Warm? I was thinking it was getting a little chilly.
Yeah? Would you like my jacket?
Oh, I couldn't deprive you.
Gee, I don't mind.
Well, suppose I just borrow a part of it.
A part?
Say just the sleeve.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think my folks would be too happy if I tore it off.
My goodness, you're cute.
I am?
And if you just sort of put your arm around my shoulders, I wouldn't be so drafty.
Oh. How's that?
Much better. Oh, my goodness, look.
Where?
At that window in back there. See those two hands on the ledge?
Gee whiz, there must be some guy trying to sneak in that way.
What's that in his hand?
Well, I'll be darned. Gladys, it isn't a fellow, it's a girl.
It is?
Sure, that's a purse in her left hand.
Well, my goodness, isn't that disgraceful?
There goes the janitor after her.
What's he doing with that window pole?
Oh, boy, he's going to let her have it right on the knuckles.
Oh, my goodness. Ouch!
Boy, did you ever see two hands disappear so fast?
Homer.
Yes, Gladys.
Did you know you took your arm away?
I did?
Yes, and it's getting very chilly again.
Gladys, don't you think it'd be a good idea if I went back to my own seat?
Why, Homer.
I mean, gee whiz, Henry's my best friend, and he did pay for your ticket.
Homer, you're doing him a favor.
I am?
Certainly. He wants me to have a good time, doesn't he?
Yes, but...
Well, I'd be miserable sitting alone.
Sure,
Homer,
but...
please, put your arm back where it was. I'm freezing.
But...
Homer?
How's that?
Much better.
Oh, boy. Am I a heel?
Willie, where are you?
Right in front of you, Henry.
Boy, this basement is dark. Are you sure we can get into the orchestra pit this way?
Sure. When I played the tuba in the school orchestra, I used to sneak out this way all the time.
Boy, my suit must be a wreck. I fell right off that windowsill into a thorn hedge.
Hold it. But we turn here.
Willie, are you sure?
Positive. I memorized this basement like a book.
You did?
Sure, when you're carrying a tuba, you can't be too careful. Come on.
Gee, Willie, I certainly want to thank you for helping me out like this.
Well, that's okay, Henry. After all, I was responsible for tying up your car.
What did Mr. Nelson say when he fired you?
I wasn't exactly fired. I retired by mutual agreement.
Did you at least get paid?
Well, to tell you the truth, Henry, I didn't think I ought to press that point. Especially since the fire department had to come over and help untangle those cars. Oh, hold it, Henry.
What's the matter?
We should be almost to the door of the orchestra pit.
Where?
Well, feel along the wall on your side for a pipe.
What for?
It leads right to the door.
Oh.
Feel around.
Okay.
Ouch! Did you find it?
Willie, was it a steam pipe?
Yeah.
I found it.
We'll keep following it and go forward.
Sure.
When you get to the orchestra pit, sneak in behind Agnes Lawson's bass.
Yep. Okay. Only let's be quiet, huh?
Henry, did you knock something over?
Snow shovels. Nearly half a dozen of them.
That's funny. I don't remember those being there last winter.
Willie, you mean we're lost?
Well, not exactly. I just don't know where we are.
No.
Well, it isn't my fault, Henry. This is the first time I've come through here without my tuba.
Inspector, can't you tell me who murdered my aunt?
Miss Hotchkiss, I think you'll be walking through that door in a moment. All right, men, scatter.
Oh, my goodness, I'm dying. I'm just dying. Have you ever seen a more exciting play?
Gee, I'll say, I'm so excited my toes are curled.
Inspector, I hear someone.
Quickly, turn out the lights. And careful, men, he may be armed.
Oh, I'm too terrified. Hold my hand.
Hold it. How's that?
My goodness, cold hands, warm heart.
Gee, yours are pretty cold yourself.
Inspector, he's at the door.
On your toes, ma'am.
Homer, look, the door's open.
It's the murderer.
Who is it? Who is it?
I don't know.
Willie, are you sure this is the door to the orchestra pit?
Gladys, that murderer sounds familiar.
All right, men, grab him.
Hey! Now wait!
You've come to the end of your road.
Now listen, you guys. I paid for my ticket and I'm coming in.
Now, Sam, calm down.
I am calm, Alice. It's just that after all these years, it hurts to find out I've misjudged Ralph Kilmer so completely.
Now, dear, maybe he had a good reason for leaving.
Good reason. His excuse was he had to go to the school auditorium and take his daughter home.
Dear, that doesn't sound unreasonable.
Because she'd gotten another attack of her hiccups from laughing at the school play?
Laughing? I thought it was a serious drama.
Exactly. He certainly could have thought of a better excuse. Fine meeting. Ferguson runs out. Then Harris. And now Kilmer.
Well, there's one thing to be said. You certainly can't blame Henry.
Well, that's something.
My goodness, that couldn't be Henry. It's only 10:30. Henry, is that you?
Yes, Mother, it's I.
Dear, come in here, please.
Mother, if you don't mind, I'd like to go right up to bed.
Dear, aren't you home a little early?
Early?
Is the play over already?
Well, you might say it ended a little unexpectedly.
Oh, I see. Incidentally, dear Miss Eddy phoned this evening.
She did?
And she was so pleased about your selling all those tickets, she has a little surprise for you.
Surprise?
Yes, she's going to see that you get a part in the next play.
Me?
Yes, dear, isn't that nice?
Well, I'll tell you, Mother. Naturally, I appreciate it, but I've suddenly lost all interest in appearing on the stage.
You have?
Yeah, gee. All you do is get up there and make a fool of yourself.
Well, my goodness, I'm going in and make you a glass of hot milk with butter.
On top of everything else I've gone through?
Henry, please answer the phone.
Why? Father, suppose it's a member of the cast.
Answer it, Henry. I have to finish this report.
But they've rehearsed for 3 months. Oh, boy. Hello?
Hi, Hen, old-timer.
Homer, is that you?
Sure. What'd they do to you after they rolled down the curtain?
I'd rather not say.
Henry, it isn't as bad as that. They promised to print who the murderer was in the school paper next week.
Homer, what about Gladys?
Why, that's where I'm calling from. I just took her home.
You did? Well, will you tell her I'll bring her purse over there the first thing in the morning?
Okay, Hen.
And the optometrist promised to have her glasses fixed by 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Something happened to them?
In a way, Homer. They somehow came into contact with a window pole.
Is that right?
And Homer, is Gladys very mad?
Mad?
Because I wasn't with her all evening.
Well, she doesn't seem very mad.
She doesn't?
No. As a matter of fact, she said she had a wonderful time. Cut it out, Gladys. That tickles.
What's that?
Oh, boy.
Homer, what's going on?
Nothing, Hen, nothing. Only, Henry.
Yes?
I just want you to know you've got a 75-cent refund coming to you.
Party I know turned out to be.
Snake in the grass. Agnes, are you referring to good old Homer?
I'll say I am.
But Agnes, you're talking about my best pal.
Your best pal. Your best pal.
Why, sure.
Okay, then what was your best pal doing with his arm around Gladys all evening?
So that's what happened. Boy, what a snake in the grass.
Well, sometimes that's the way it goes with the best of friends. But ladies, when it comes to desserts, here's one that never lets you down. Jell-O tapioca puddings, a miracle of goodness, a marvel of speed. Jell-O tapioca puddings are ready prepared, nothing to go wrong. All you do is add milk, and they take just about 5 minutes to cook. There's Jell-O vanilla tapioca, luscious, light, and mellow. Jell-O chocolate tapioca, rich and candy good. Jell-O orange coconut tapioca, tangy orange with rich tropical coconut. Jell-O tapioca puddings. 3 delicious new reasons why more women buy Jell-O puddings than any other prepared puddings in the world.
Here's hoping you'll be in your living room and ours next week at the same time. Good night, folks.
The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelk as Homer, is written by Norman Kokar and Ed Joris, with music by Jack Miller. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jameson and Catherine Roth. And this is Dan Seymour in New York saying, the Aldrich family is brought to you by the Jell-O family.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings, yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings, yes, sirree.
New as a hobo at a banker's convention. Amazing, the only one of its kind. That's Minute Rice. Minute Rice for magically quick meals. No washing, rinsing, draining, or steaming with Minute Rice. Just drop it in water and bring to a boil. Absolutely no more cooking needed. Minute Rice is quicker to fix than potatoes, and it always comes out perfect. You'll think of scores of wonderful one-dish meals with Minute Rice. So remember the name Minute. Minute Rice in the red, white, and blue box.
That was the Aldrich family from 1949. And now, the Archies.
Truck driver, way out. Truck driver, where you bound? Let me come along with you and help me find that little girl with eyes of brown.
In the 50s, it was normal for a teenager to have a beat-up old car. I guess it's still normal for a teenager to have a beat-up old car, but they had a name for it in the 50s, and that was a jalopy. Here is Archie from April 6th, 1951.
Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, here he is again, the young civilian readers of Archie Comics magazine. Oh, and loved so well, Archie Andrews and all his gang.
And now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's Saturday night, late Saturday night, and we find our boy Archie and his jalopy just driving his best girl, Veronica, home after a big night at the school dance. They're just arriving at Veronica's.
Well, Veronica, here we are.
My goodness, home already?
Yep, home already.
Oh, my goodness. It seems like the evening just began, and here it is over already.
Yeah, that evening just flew by.
It certainly did. I guess it's because, well, because we like each other.
Gee, I guess so. Did you have a nice time, Veronica?
I certainly did. Did you?
Sure did. It's the nicest evening we've spent together since last Saturday night.
Uh-huh. But tonight's dance was the best yet.
Yeah.
And the soda we had after the dance.
Yeah.
And the drive back home.
Yeah. Especially when we stopped for red lights.
Archie.
Well, it was fun, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. Oh, golly. I wish this evening could go on forever.
Well, I don't.
You don't?
Uh-huh. In fact, in a way, I'm glad it's over.
Why, Archie, how can you say a thing like that?
Oh, I mean it, Veronica. You know why I'm glad the evening is almost over?
Oh, I certainly do not.
Well, it's because I love the way you say goodnight.
Oh, Archie, that's sweet.
I kind of like the way you mumble while you fumble for the key. More time for kissing me. I love the way you say goodnight. I kind of like the way you linger with your finger on the bell. More kisses and they're swell when you say, gotta get home by 12. I always say, let's go. 'Cause you can take longer to say goodnight than any three others I know. I love the way you say goodnight. I kinda like the way you snuggle while you juggle with your comb. I'm never, never, never going home.
Archie. That was very nice.
Gee, did you like it?
Oh, yes, Archie, I really did.
Well, I wish it were true. I wish I didn't ever have to go home.
Oh, do you really, Archie?
Uh-huh, really.
Me too. Oh, I could have danced with you all night long.
Yeah.
I particularly enjoyed the first dance of the evening.
Yeah.
And the second one was fun, too.
Yeah.
And the third one was cute.
Yeah, but I like the fourth dance best of all.
The fourth dance? Oh, but Archie, we were out on the terrace for the fourth dance.
That's why I like it best of all.
Oh, Archie, stop. Oh, but the fifth dance was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, and how about that sixth dance?
And the seventh dance?
Yeah, and the eighth dance. I thought the eighth...
Is this dance going to last all night?
My goodness, my father.
Oh, boy.
Father, is that you?
It is.
Oh, what are you doing up at this hour?
That's exactly what I'd like to know. Who's that down there with you?
Archie.
Archie? Oh, my breaking back. Young man, do you know it's 1 o'clock in the morning?
Well, gee, my watch only says 5 to 1.
What?
Well, it must be a little slow, Mr. Lodge. I mean...
Never mind what you mean, Archie. This is no time for you to be standing around oohing and ahhing over the dance and waking everybody up.
Yes, sir. I'm going home right now, Mr. Lodge.
It's about time. And good night.
Night, Mr. Lodge. Gee, I'm awful sorry I woke your father, Veronica.
Oh, that's all right, Archie. Oh, well, I guess it is getting a little late.
Gee, I guess so. Time to go.
Uh-huh. Good night, Archie.
Good night, Veronica.
Nighty-night.
Nighty-night.
Night now.
Night now.
Night.
Night.
Good night!
Good night? Oh, who was that?
It was me. Are you still down there?
Oh, Mr. Lodge, I'm sorry, sir. I was just saying goodnight to Veronica.
Yes, so I gathered. But there's 2 more good nights and it'll be time to say good morning. Now, Veronica, will you please come inside, go to your room, and go to sleep?
Yes, Father.
And Archie, will you please go home?
Yes, Mr. Lodge, I'm going right now.
All right.
Night, Veronica.
Night, Archie.
Gee whiz. Don't see what he has to get so annoyed about. Just one day goodnight to Veronica, that's all. Didn't he ever take a girl out and say goodnight to her? Jesus. Is it my fault if he's a light sleeper? I guess it is a little late at that. But he still didn't have to act like I was trying to wake him up on purpose. Oh, well, I guess he's just the irritable type. Everything bothers him for no reason at all.
Archie! Is this any time to start drilling an oil well?
Huh? Oh, Mr. Lodge. Gee, I'm sorry, Mr. Lodge. My car...
It's the middle of the night, Archie, and I want to get some sleep.
I know, Mr. Lodge, but I can't...
And I've already asked you, my boy, twice now to go home.
Yes, Mr. Lodge, but you see...
All right, so please stop making all that noise and go home.
Well, gee, I'm trying to, Mr. Lodge. You see, I started to start my car, but the starter doesn't want to start, and I'm starting to think that if the starter doesn't start starting pretty soon, it isn't going to start starting at all. You understand?
Archie, look, I do not understand. Whatever brand of English you were using just then is a way beyond my feeble mentality at this hour. But this much I do understand. You are making too darn much noise, do you hear me? Too much noise!
All right, Mr. Lodge, all right. I'll be very quiet. Very, very quiet.
We'll see that you are. And good night.
Gee, he sounds like he's getting mad. I'd better get out of here fast.
What in tarnation are you doing now?
Hello, Mr. Lodge. I'm having a little trouble with this...
I thought I asked you to go home.
I'm trying to, Mr. Lodge, but my car still doesn't want to start.
Well, if I were that old, I wouldn't want to start either.
Huh?
Never mind! No, Archie, for the last time, will you or won't you go home?
Gee whiz, Mr. Lodge, I'm trying
well,
to.
Well, if that alleged car of yours won't start, then walk.
Huh?
You heard me. Walk. You can't sit there in the middle of the night exploding that confounded motor and waking up the entire neighborhood. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. Good night.
Archie, what's the matter?
Oh, hi, Veronica. I can't get the jalopy started, and your father's getting mad at me.
Oh, my goodness. Well, maybe you better walk home.
Well, that's what your father said, but I hate to leave the car here.
What's wrong with leaving it?
Well, nothing, but it's a pretty valuable car, you know. And if I just leave it lying around in the street all night, anybody could steal it.
Well, somebody might at that.
Sure. Or I might get a ticket for parking all night.
Well, they might at that.
Sure. Oh, who knows what might happen to it. No, sir, Veronica. This car and I have been together for a long time. Where I go, my car goes.
Well, I guess you're right, Archie. But if it won't start, what can you do?
Well, the only thing to do, I guess, is call my father and ask him to come and tow the jalopy home with his car. Can I use your phone, Veronica?
Oh, of course, Archie, but won't your father mind being awake at this time of night?
Oh, I won't be waking him, Veronica. Mom and Dad were going out tonight, and they probably just got home. Dad won't mind.
Well, I hope you're right. Come on in and you can call.
Veronica, that's you? Where are you?
Oh, here I am, Father. I just went out to see if I could get
All right. Well, all right. Now, please come up and go to sleep, and that's all. Now, the dead young idiot's gone home.
Oh, Father, he
The
should
next
have...
time, Veronica, you go out with that scatterbrain. Say goodnight at the front gate.
Well, Father, I
Or
think
better
you ought to...
still, Veronica, better still, find someone to go out with who has a brain in his head.
Oh, but Father, I've been trying to tell
I've
you...
never in all my born days heard of such things going on.
But, Father, Archie is still here.
Veronica, don't you think that I know he's still here? Oh, no, Archie. Yes, well, hello, Archie.
Hello, Mr. Lodge.
Hello. I really didn't mean anything, Archie. That is, I meant to say I was trying not to say, well, what's the use of trying to explain? Archie, I apologize for what I said. I guess I'm just a little upset, that's all, you know. Just a little out of sorts at this time of night, being awakened from a sound sleep and that sort of thing. You understand, don't you?
Oh, sure, I understand, Mr. Lodge.
Yes, well, now, I'm glad you do, old man. No hard feelings?
No hard feelings.
Good, fine. Have a cigar.
What?
I'm glad you understand.
Oh, sure I do. My father calls me worse things than you just said.
Oh, he does. Well, that's fine. That's too bad. I'm glad he does.
Huh?
Oh, great. I don't know what I mean. Archie, look.
Yes, Mr. Lodge?
Look, would you mind telling me, please, just what you're doing back here again anyway?
Oh, he wants to use the phone, Father.
The phone. Oh, all right. I thought, wants to use the phone? Not now?
Uh-huh. I want to call my father to come pull my jalopy home with his car.
At this time of night?
Oh, he won't mind, Mr. Lodge. And besides, it's not safe to leave my car out there all night.
Not safe? Why not? The street cleaners don't work Sunday morning?
Huh?
Father!
No, they don't. That hunk of junk of yours is far too big for him to cart away.
Oh, now, Father, that's not nice. Archie's a friend of mine, and this is an emergency, and the least we can do is extend the courtesy of letting him use the phone. Well, after all, Father, where's your hospitality?
Well, at this hour, it's still sleeping. All right, go ahead, Archie. Use the phone, and you bust to get your limousine out of here. No use arguing with you all night.
Gee, thanks a lot, Mr. Lodge.
That's all right. But please be quick about it.
It'll just take me a minute. Operator, get me Riverdale 725, please.
Well, this is one call your father's going to enjoy, I'll wager.
Oh, he won't mind, Mr. Lodge. He's always up late on Saturday night. He never minds. Hiya, Dad. This is Archie.
Archie who?
Archie Andrews, your son.
You must have the wrong number.
Gee whiz, he's still half asleep. Dad, listen to me. This is Archie. I don't have the wrong number. I'm sorry I got you out of bed, Dad, but I'm at Veronica's house, and my jalopy won't start, and that's why I had to call you at this hour. Now, do you understand? Oh, fine. He fell asleep right on the phone. Dad, hey, Dad, wake up.
Yes, huh?
Dad!
Who is it?
Archie.
He's not in. I'll tell him to call.
All right, I'll wait. Wait, Dad! No, I don't want to talk to Archie. This is Archie.
You must have the wrong number.
Oh, great. Dad, we've been all through that. I don't have the wrong number. This is Archie, and I want you to come over to Veronica's house with the car and tow my jalopy home. I can't get it started. Okay? Oh, no, he's asleep again.
Oh, good heavens, Archie. Is this merry-go-round going to last all night?
Just another minute, Mr. Lodge. Another minute. I'll get him awake this time. You just watch. Hey, Dad, this is Archie, the kid who keeps asking you for money.
Oh, Archie, what tickets you want?
Well, he knows who he's talking to now. Dad, listen, are you still awake?
Yeah?
Well, Dad, I hate to bother you, but my car is stuck at Veronica's house.
Yeah.
Could you drive over here with a good car?
Yeah.
Dad, did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Are you coming over?
Uh-huh.
Dad, are you sure you understood what I said?
Uh-huh. Fine.
But, Dad, come over right away. Hello? Hello? See, was he hung up?
Oh, my goodness, did he fall asleep again?
No, he was talking to me, Veronica. He said he heard me and he'd be right over.
Yeah, well, he's certainly a much more understanding man than I would be in his place.
Oh, sure, Mr. Lodge. Dad's a good egg about things like this.
Yes, he must be. But as long as he's coming over, Archie, then that settles that. Now, look. Your father will probably be here in just a few minutes, so would you please do me the favor of waiting outside in your car so we can go to sleep?
Oh, gee, well, sure, Mr. Lodge. I'll wait outside for him.
All right, fine.
And I'm sorry I've been so much trouble, and thanks for letting me get home.
It's all right, Archie. That's quite all right. Good night. Now, who the dickens to be calling at this hour?
Oh, I'll get it, Father. Hello?
Hello, Veronica. This is Jughead. Is Archie there?
Yes, he is. Archie, it's for you.
Me?
I might have known.
Hello?
Is that you, Archie?
She was Jughead.
Would you expect the boogeyman?
No, Jughead, I did not expect a boogeyman or you either calling me here at this hour. What the dickens do you want?
I want to know what's taking you so long. You said you'd pick me up at Agatha's house after you took Veronica home.
Jug, I was going to,
If
but
I stay here any longer, we'll be engaged.
Jug, I
I already kissed her goodnight 12 times, so I gotta go home now.
Why now?
13 is unlucky.
No, fine. Jughead, never mind the jokes. I can't pick you up because
Pick me up. Well, it's a long walk to my house, and my feet hurt.
Jug, I know.
Agatha danced on my feet all night.
Jug,
The way she dances, even my corns have horns.
Jughead,
Now, this is I'm going in Uncle Herman's shoes.
Jughead, all right. Her feet hurt. Agatha doesn't know how to dance, and you're wearing your Uncle Herman's shoes. But I am not interested in hearing about your big feet right now.
Who's got big feet?
Jug, I was
My feet are no bigger than your feet.
Jughead,
You're so smart. I'll come over there and measure feet with you right now.
Jughead, look, for the last time, I don't want to argue about feet now. I have other troubles.
Like what?
Like my car won't start.
You wish it won't?
No, it won't. And my father's coming over here to tow it home.
Well, I can still come over there and get a ride home with your father, can't I?
Yes, Jughead, I suppose you can. Oh, but Jughead,
Yeah?
if you're coming over here, don't come in. Just meet me outside at my car.
Why?
Because that's where I'll be.
Why?
Jughead, stop asking so many foolish questions and meet me outside. It's too late at night for a lot of company to be coming over here.
Oh, I'll be right over. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm awful sorry about this, Mr. Lodge. I didn't know Jughead was going to call here.
Archie, look, you listen to me. Before this goes any further, let me say this. I don't care who's coming over when. I've said 6 times now that I want to go to sleep, and by George, I'm going to go to sleep right now. So I don't care if Jughead or your father or even the King of England is coming over to rescue you. Now then, you can just wait outside in your car and wait quietly. Do you understand?
She was sure, Mr. Lodge. I understand.
Good, fine, great. Then if you don't mind, it's getting very late now. Now what? Hello.
Hello, Mr. Lodge?
Yes.
Well, this is Mrs. Andrews. I hope I didn't wake you.
Oh, no, I'm wide awake, Mrs. Andrews.
Oh, that's good. Is my son there?
He most certainly is, and that's why I'm wide awake.
What?
Never mind. I'll let you talk to him, Mrs. Andrews. Archie's for you.
Thank you. Hello, Mom?
Yes, dear. Archie, did you call here a while ago?
Oh, yes, Mom, I did. Why?
Well, your father got out of bed to answer the phone, and when he came back to bed and I asked him who was on the telephone, he said, "What telephone?"
Oh, no.
And then he said he had a dream that you'd called him from Veronica's house and said your car was stuck. But I insisted that the phone had really rung, and you must really be at Veronica's.
Gee whiz, Mom, I really am. I'm waiting for Dad to get here.
Well, don't worry, dear. He'll be there in a few minutes, just as soon as I wake him up.
Wake him up? You mean he's asleep again?
Yes, dear, but don't worry. I'll get him out of bed and I'll send him over there right away.
Okay, Mom, but hurry, please. I can't wait here all night.
All right, dear. Goodbye.
Bye, Mom. Gee, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Lodge. My father thought my phone call was just a dream and went back to sleep.
Archie,
and then my mother...
Archie, please, look, your father's dreams are very interesting and all that, but so far as this has been a nightmare to me. Now then, is your father coming here or not?
Oh, sure, Mom's waking him right now, and then he's...
Then don't bother. Now that everything is settled, I can... Oh, what the dickens is that?
My goodness, it sounds like Jughead.
It's Jughead, all right.
Oh, will you shut him up before he wakens the dead? Jughead, is that you?
Mr. Lodge, are you still up?
I am. Well, will you please stop screaming your head off?
I wasn't screaming my head off. I was just calling out.
I know that. Why in tarnation don't you ring the doorbell?
I didn't want to wake you up. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Archie. Hello,
Hi,
John.
Now, just a minute, before this thing goes any further. I like the team spirit you kids show and all that, and I admire your friendly attitude. And I'm absolutely dazzled by your energy at this time of night. But will you please include me out of your plans to rescue Archie's jalopy? And leave now.
You was sure, Mr. Lodge. But you know something?
No, Jughead. At this stage of the game, I don't know nothing.
Gee, your English isn't very good, is it?
Jughead, never mind my English. You just tell me what I'm supposed to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But while I was walking over here, it dawned on me that maybe Archie's car needs a push to get it started.
Yeah.
And maybe Veronica could push it with her car and get it started.
Yeah. Jughead, now, that's a very brilliant suggestion, but I
my
suggest...
goodness, that is a good idea, Jughead.
Now, wait a minute, Veronica.
Yeah, I bet that'll do it.
Now, Archie, don't you...
Especially if she's still on the way home.
Jughead, I don't want her.
I'll go get my car out of the garage.
But Veronica, come back. It's too late for that sort of nonsense now. Veronica!
Mr. Lodge, it's the middle of the night.
I know it's the middle of the night. What do you think I've been yelling for this past hour?
I don't know. I just got here.
You just... Archie, if you don't take this friend of yours and yourself out of here, I'm telling you I may lose my temper. So, that's all. Archie, why don't you save me the trouble of picking up the phone and handing it to you by answering it yourself? I know it's for you.
Oh, it couldn't be for me, Mr. Lodge. Who'd call me here?
Anybody at all. Answer the phone.
Okay. Oh?
Archie, is that you?
She was Betty. It is for me, Mr. Lodge.
Oh, you don't say.
Hiya, Betty. Well, what makes you call over here?
Don't these kids ever get any sleep?
Well, I figured you'd still be there, and maybe you could help us out.
Help who out with what?
Well, after the dance, Billy Pringle and I and a whole gang of kids came over to Genevieve's house. But now that we're ready to go home, Billy can't get his jalopy started.
Gee whiz, he can't?
No, the battery's dead. So could you bring your car over and push Billy's car?
Gee whiz, Betty, I can't. My car won't start either.
There'll be a law against these confounded jalopy.
Hi, is your battery dead, too?
No, the battery seems to be okay, Betty, but the car just won't start.
Well, here's what we'll do, Archie.
What?
I'll bring all the kids over there, and we'll get your car started first.
Oh, no, Betty, you better not...
Then you can drive us all back here and push Billy's car.
Betty, I don't...
And then all the cars will be started again. Isn't that a peachy idea?
Betty, that's
We'll be
not
right
such a
over,
good... Betty, no. Wait, Betty. Hello. Betty, no. Oh, boy.
Now what's the matter?
Betty's bringing a whole crowd over here.
Well, that's fine. There's nothing I like better than what? A whole crowd coming over here?
Mr. Lodge, I tried to stop her.
Now, see here, young man. What do you think this house is anyway? A convention hall? A country club? A private meeting place for your friends?
No, Mr. Lodge, I tried to tell her not to...
You listen to me. What would you like to have me do? Install a secretary to take your messages and answer your mail?
I'm awfully sorry all this
Archie,
happened.
I was sleeping peacefully when you arrived, and now look. Jughead's here, and your father's coming over, and Betty's coming, and, well, who knows what's going to happen next?
Oh, nothing else is going to happen, Mr. Lodge. Guess again, Archie. Gee whiz, that couldn't be for me.
Well, it better not be. Because if any more of your scatterbrained friends, I'll...
Well, Mr. Lodge. What are you doing out here?
Well, Andrew.
She was Dad.
Oh, there you are. Young man.
You forgot to say hello to me, Mr. Andrews.
Jughead, be quiet.
Okay.
Now, would you mind telling me what in the name of heaven is the meaning of all this nonsense?
Gee, it isn't nonsense, Dad. My car won't start, and
I know that, but why are you calling people up in the middle of the night and upsetting Mr. Lodge? Mr. Lodge, I'm terribly sorry about all this. I don't know why the boy is acting like a scatterbrain.
Yeah, that's just what I told him.
Yes, You told him. You told my son he was a scatterbrain?
Well, yes.
Who gave you the right to call my son names?
But you yourself just...
Never mind what I said. He's my son, and I can call him anything I like.
But I didn't call him anything. I just...
Oh, yes, you did. I heard you.
I'll be glad to hold anybody's coat.
Just keep on. Now, I want you to understand, Lodge, that anything you say to my boy, you had better be ready to say to me.
All right, then. Scatterbrain.
That's better. For a minute, I thought you... What? Scatterbrain? Are you calling me a scatterbrain?
I certainly am. The boy must get it from someone.
Gee whiz, Dad, don't start an argument with Mr. Lodge.
Archie, I argue with anyone I please. What the dickens is that?
Oh, who would blow a horn at this hour except one of Archie's nitwit friends? Who's out there?
It's me, Father. I have the car out of the garage.
Lodge, you were right the first time.
Oh, wait just a minute, Veronica.
Archie, please.
What the dickens is that?
Lodge,
Archie, we got Billy's car started.
Betty, will you wait a
Hi,
minute?
Betty.
Archie, please. Veronica, just...
Veronica, will you stop shouting out there at this time?
Lodge, will you just let
Boy,
me
we got
hang...
enough cards now. Push
Just,
ready.
will you...
Come on out, Archie. We'll give you a push.
Betty,
Up to Betty, I will.
Veronica, stop blowing that confounded horn! Now, just a minute here. Just 1 minute! And you be quiet, too. That's better. Now, listen to me, all of you. This nonsense has gone just about far enough. Too far, in fact.
So has Archie too.
Jughead. Jughead for the last time. Shush! Now, that goes for all the rest of you, too. I have never in all my days heard of anything like this. What the idea of you kids calling and yelling and blowing horns and using this man's house like it was a circus?
We're sorry, Dad. It just kind of happened by itself.
By George, see that it unhappens, and right now. First of all, you can apologize to Mr. Lodge.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lodge.
No, that's all right. Now, say good night to Veronica, and one good night will do.
Night, Veronica.
Night, Archie.
And Betty, you go tell your boyfriend of that 1890 limousine to take you and himself home as fast as he knows how.
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
Jughead, you can crawl with us, and we'll take you home.
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
All right. Now, Mr. Lodge, I apologize again. And, I'm sorry I lost my temper a minute ago.
No, that's quite all right, old man.
No, it isn't, but it'll have to do. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Well, Veronica, thank heavens that's settled.
Oh, my goodness. It has been a hectic evening, hasn't it?
Hectic, Veronica. Hectic isn't even the word for it. But at least everyone is finally gone, and now we can get some sleep. And I hope I don't see hide nor hair of Archie and his friends for a long time to come.
Oh, you won't, Father. Not for 7 hours.
Yes, I know. 7 hours. 7 hours? What are you talking about?
Well, they're all calling for me at 8:30 tomorrow morning. We're going to play tennis.
Going to play tennis? Now, you listen to me, young lady.
Oh, my goodness, what's
If
wrong
you
with
think
that?
you're going to run around all night and then get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you...
The Andrews will be back in just a moment. But first, today our country is spending millions of dollars for defense, and we're training millions of men to protect our nation in any emergency. But all of this preparation will fail unless we can control inflation. Yes, inflation can destroy our country just as surely as a military defeat. We can't send soldiers to fight inflation. Every citizen has got to get into the battle himself. It's up to all of us to increase production, cut down on buying, and support price and wage ceiling. And now back to the Andrews. It's a few minutes later, and all of Archie's friends have gone home, and Archie and his father are just getting into Mr. Andrews' car.
I hope you've learned your lesson, young man.
Yes, Dad, I sure have.
All right, then we'll just leave your jalopy here and come back and get it in daylight when we can see what we're doing. And won't wake everyone. Oh, good grief.
Gee, Dad, what's the matter?
I don't know, but when the sound of that started, the battery is dead.
The battery's dead? You mean your car won't start
Let
either?
the
Gee whiz, Dad,
battery
how are we going to get home?
Doordale. I don't know.
Listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Jampel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie is played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone. Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Yeoman and Arthur Cole. Veronica and Betty by Gloria Mann and Rosemary Rice. The part of Mr. Lodge was played by Jack Hartley. This program transcribed is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Those of you who would like to see our show can obtain tickets by writing to Archie Andrews, NBC, Radio City 20, New York. And we'll get tickets to you as fast as we can. Meanwhile, listen next Sunday at 6:30 for more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Mel Brandt wishing you a very pleasant weekend. So long, everybody.
That was Archie from 1951, and now going back to an early episode of The Aldrich Family from 1940. You might recognize the announcer. It's Don Wilson, the announcer for the Jack Benny program. The Aldrich Family was all set to replace the Jack Benny program over the summer. So here it is from April 23rd, 1940.
Coming, Mother. Family, starring Ezra Stone and written by Clifford Goldsmith, brought to you by Jell-O Puddings, those delicious new desserts all America's been talking about. They say the happiest years of life are the teens, but I know one person who has his doubts. Henry Aldrich. Henry has all the troubles and growing pains that most boys go through in their high school days, for Henry is a typical American boy. The scene opens in the Aldrich kitchen. The time is Saturday morning.
But, Mother, why won't you?
Because we can't afford it, Henry.
We can't afford just 8 cents?
I'm sorry, but that is the condition this family is in.
You can't afford 8 cents for what, Mother?
Believe it or not, Mary, we can't afford just 8 cents worth of breakfast food.
You mean Father's lost his law practice?
Your father has not lost his law practice. That 8 cents would be only the beginning.
Of what?
Well, Dizzy and I are saving breakfast food coupons, Mary, to get an outboard motor for a rowboat. And all I'm doing is asking Mother to stock up.
Yes, dear. And you might also explain that all you need is 12,000 coupons.
But we don't, Mother. We've already got quite a few. All we need now is 11,214.
Well, we are not stocking up with any 11,214 packages of breakfast food.
I'm not asking anything so ridiculous, Mother. At the most, I'm just asking you to buy 200 packages.
All at once, Henry?
Sure, we can use that in a year, easy.
Henry, I don't want to hear anything more about it.
Okay. Has Mr. Sutherland called this morning?
Not that I know of.
What would he be calling for?
Nothing, Mother. Just something I asked him to call me about.
Isn't he your Sunday school teacher, Henry?
Yes, Mary. Mother, have you tried looking at it from this way? If I were asking you to buy chewing gum or candy, it might be different. But breakfast food. Think of all the nourishment there'd be in 200 boxes.
And where would we keep 200 boxes?
Right here in the kitchen, where they'd be handy.
And where would I cook?
All right. You cook here in the kitchen, and I'll give over my room to the breakfast food.
And then you can spend all your time up there reading it.
All right, Mary. Ridicule me today, but wait until you look out on a lake someday and see me in a rowboat with a 2.5 horsepower outboard motor on it. Then maybe you won't think I'm so humorous.
Won't I? I'll answer the phone.
Mother, as soon as Mary is through with that call, do you mind if I phone Father's office?
What for, dear?
Well, I want to remind him to get the folks at his office saving coupons.
Henry, I don't like to discourage every suggestion you make, but I happen to know that your father is extremely busy preparing a case to be tried in court next week.
But, Mother, this wouldn't take 10 seconds. And if I can get everyone at his office eating good breakfast, maybe his whole practice will pick up.
You are not going to bother him, dear. And incidentally, your father does not want you to bother Judge Thompson's family anymore either.
I haven't been bothering the Thompsons.
You've been trying to get Mrs. Thompson to save coupons for you. And your father finds it quite embarrassing when he has to try cases before Judge Thompson.
But Judge Thompson ought to be grateful.
In what way?
I'm employing his son.
I beg your pardon?
Sure, didn't I tell you? Freddie works for me.
Doing what?
Eating breakfast food. I pay him.
And who pays for the breakfast food?
Judge Thompson. But Freddie's got to eat something, hasn't he? And he might as well eat this and have it count towards something.
Henry, Mr. Sutherland just phoned and left a message for you.
For me?
Yes, Henry. He said that he'd considered your proposition, and he didn't think it would be ethical.
It wouldn't be ethical. It wouldn't be ethical. Huh. Can you imagine that?
What did you ask him to do, Henry?
If that isn't the most absurd thing I ever heard of.
What did you ask him to do?
The most simple thing in the world. All I asked him to do was to suggest at Sunday school that the class lend me a hand and eat my kind of breakfast food.
Henry Aldrich.
I don't blame you for feeling that way, Mother. It wouldn't have hurt him to ask him. And I would have been perfectly willing to give him a commission.
I believe it.
Well, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to change my church.
Oh, no, you're not, Henry.
Oh, yes, I am, Mother. If you ask me, I don't think Mr. Sutherland has a Christian-like attitude.
Will one you see who's at the front door, please?
I'll go, Mary. It may be one of the men I have working for me.
Hello, Henry.
Oh, hello, Freddie. Come on in.
I got some bad news for you.
Yeah?
My mother says I can't eat so much breakfast food.
Why not?
My father wants to buy a car.
What's that got to do with it?
We need the money.
But I'm paying you good money.
But look at what you're paying me. 50 cents for every 500 coupons.
All right, if you keep on saving, I'll give you an interest in the motorboat, too.
I still don't think my folks can afford it.
Well, why don't you ask them which they'd rather have, a car or a motorboat?
But my father can't go to the courthouse in a motorboat, can he?
Freddie, I'm not sure, but I think I just had an idea.
Yeah? What else have I got to eat?
Nothing. All you have to do is sit back and count. Where's your father buying the car?
I heard him mention Johnson's Automobile Agency.
Well, let's go down there.
Why?
Well, if Johnson wants your father's business, they ought to be willing to cooperate a little, shouldn't they?
How?
By saving breakfast food coupons for us. Come on, Freddie. Let's put it up to them.
Joe, see who the two gentlemen are out in the showroom.
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
Hi. What can I do for you?
How do you do? We're just looking.
You have some very nice cars here.
Are you buying a car?
Well, we aren't exactly, but a friend of ours is.
He is.
Yeah, and he asked us to sort of look around for him.
What's his name?
Well, I'm not sure he'd want his name mentioned just now.
He just wants your advice.
Yes, sir.
How much is that car?
$7.95.
That's the kind he's considering.
How much is that sedan over there?
$28.40.
$2,840?
Yes, sir.
Is that FOB or delivered?
FOB.
How many spare tires does that include?
2.
Only 2.
You mind if we try sitting in it?
Do you have to sit in that one?
Well, we would like to see what it's like.
No.
You sit in the back, Henry.
Why should I sit in the back?
Who's buying this?
Boys, let me show you something. When you push each other against the doors like that, it scratches.
Gee, that's the trouble with a black car. It shows every button you've got.
Gee, I must have hit it.
Don't touch anything in there.
No, sir.
Not a bad dash, Freddie.
I don't like it as well as last year's, Henry.
Yeah, well, is that the speedometer?
That's the clock.
That isn't the right time, though, is it?
It isn't even running.
What's this here?
That's an ash receptacle. Would you mind putting it back, please?
Gee, it broke right off.
I asked you not to touch it.
I know, but it shouldn't break like that.
Well, what do you know about that?
You mind my asking, does either of you have $2,800 in your pocket?
I haven't.
Do you have it between you?
No, sir.
Well, will you step real carefully, like, out of the car?
Wouldn't you be interested in our making an offer?
For this job?
Well, it's a proposition for any car.
No.
But we know somebody that's buying.
Well, what's your offer?
Well, do you mind if I ask what you eat for breakfast?
What's that got to do with it?
Wouldn't hurt to tell us, would it?
Would you mind getting out of this? And out of this showroom?
Sure. We'll get out gladly. I guess he doesn't know who your father is, Freddie.
Nor do I care who he is. What is it, Joe? Just a couple of wanderers.
I guess you don't want his father to buy his car here, huh?
Who is his father?
Judge Thompson.
You're Judge Thompson's boy?
I sure am.
Well, certainly glad to know you, young man.
Thank you.
How do you do? I'm the son of Sam Aldrich.
Sam Aldrich? Well, you look just like him.
Yes, sir. That's what everybody says.
Well, make yourselves at home here.
Yes, sir.
You want the rest of your fenders ruined? Now, let the team scratch. Now, is there any questions you'd like to ask, boys? Just begin to shoot.
Yeah? What kind of breakfast food do you eat? What's that?
You heard him.
Yeah, you see, we're saving coupons, and we thought maybe...
What kind of coupon?
Well, I've got one right here in my pocket. Here it is.
We don't eat that kind right now, but I'll certainly speak to my wife about it.
You will?
I'll get her to try it someday.
You couldn't get her to start tomorrow morning, could you?
Well, Joe, see this coupon?
Yeah.
Beginning tomorrow morning, you get your wife to save these. You mean I got to give up cinnamon buns? Well, we're going to help these boys out. Tell the fellas out in the shop. They're to eat this, too.
Oh, gee, that's pretty nice of you.
But here's what you're to do for me. The judge, believe it or not, is thinking of buying one from the Yellow Arrow people. It's a good car if you don't want to drive it very far.
The Yellow Arrow?
And you'll tell him about our car.
Oh, sure. Which model here do you think your dad would like, Freddie?
I like that $2,800 job.
Do you hear that, Joe? The boys have taste.
You think so?
Now then, when would you like to have us send a demonstration car over for you?
To ride in?
Sure.
Gee, are you doing anything next week, Henry?
Not that I'd planned.
Next week it is. Now, here, boys, before you go, I've got something for you. Right here on this table, here's 2 blotters for you, young man, and 2 blotters for you.
Well, gee whiz, what'll it be next?
You'll find that we'll treat you right.
Mr. Johnson.
What?
Isn't that Judge Thompson across the street?
Judge Thompson?
So it is.
You'd like to have me call him?
I don't think you ought to bother him right now. He's probably in a rush someplace.
Well, let's call him anyhow.
Well, he may not like to be pushed into a sale.
Oh, Judge.
Hey, Judge.
Yes? I'd like to have you come back here to the showroom a minute.
I couldn't possibly stop right now. Got you in there, Freddie?
Henry wanted me to look at something.
Don't be late for lunch.
Well, it's too bad he isn't going to come in.
Yeah, it is. Isn't it?
Well, I guess we better be going ourselves.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Put in a word for it.
Come on, Freddie. We've got to hurry.
Where are we going now?
Where do you think? Why just stop at Mr. Johnson's? Let's get the Yellow Arrow Company eating for us, too. Come on.
Well, Henry doesn't miss a trick, does he? And while he's trying to persuade the Yellow Arrow Company to do a little eating for him, I'd like to mention something about eating myself. Something I bet all of you ladies will agree with. It's simply this. The real spice and charm of family suppers is in variety. Something new and different all the time. Lots of good desserts at your fingertips. There's the trick. And Jell-O puddings are one mighty swell answer. For you can have infinite variety, easily and inexpensively. For instance, serve Jell-O vanilla pudding with juicy raisins added. Or a covering of fluffy coconut, or fold in some tempting chopped dates. Jell-O vanilla pudding has a mellow, bland flavor that combines perfectly with fruits or coconut and gives you a new treat every time. Then try Jell-O chocolate pudding, rich and dark and luscious. And Jell-O butterscotch pudding, as mouth-watering as golden taffy candy with a wonderful smooth richness. All 3 Jell-O puddings are quick as a flash to make. Simple directions are in every package. And when you've tried these 3 grand new desserts, you'll know why every day more and more people are saying to their grocers, give me Jell-O puddings in all 3 luscious flavors. From Henry Aldrich's activity over the last few days, his coupons should be arriving in truckloads. We pick him up now as he is counting with Freddie in Judge Thompson's home.
2,465, 2,466. I'm getting tired, Freddie.
Don't tell me you want to stop.
Maybe it's because I don't like to do anything that's wrong.
Well, go on and count, Henry.
Okay. 2,467. Listen, Freddie. Do you think that what we've been doing resembles bribery?
Bribery?
My father thinks it does.
How does he even know about it?
In an unguarded moment, I told him.
Everything?
Well, just 1 or 2 of the high spots. And he says we ought to go to your father and confess.
Forget it. All we've done is ask somebody to save a few breakfast food coupons.
Sure. That's the way I think I'll look at it. And besides, Mr. Johnson hasn't even given all of his yet.
That's what I say.
Well, 2,468, 2,000... No matter what you say, Freddie, I'm going to tell your father.
Henry, you want to make the mistake of your life.
But it was last Saturday that we did it, and I haven't slept since.
Well, don't go down to the courthouse to confess it.
You mean it would make it legal if I did it down there?
He doesn't like to be bothered. He's very strict about a thing like that.
Hello, Freddie.
Where did you come from, Father?
I spend Saturday afternoon at home. Mother here?
She's out someplace.
Who's that in there with you?
Just Henry.
Well.
Judge Thompson, could I speak with you a minute?
Henry, you're only going to upset him.
Just as soon as I take my coat off and put these packages down there.
Just tell him he's going to look at it from a purely technical point of view.
Yeah, but my father's trying a case in front of him, and he says I've got to get things straightened out.
But you don't know what you're walking into. Father can't stand crime.
Crime?
Here, help me pick these coupons up.
Stick them inside your shirt. I'll put some in mine.
What we ought to have is a vacuum cleaner.
Well, Henry?
Okay.
What is it that's on your mind?
Judge Thompson, my father asked me to tell you something.
All right, Henry. Proceed.
Well, I just wanted to say, is it true you're buying an automobile?
I have been thinking of it.
Well, I think that's a very good idea.
That reminds me, there are several packages here that were left in my name at the courthouse. I wonder whether you boys would know anything about them.
Packages, Judge Thompson?
Of what, Father?
That's the curious part of it. This first package was left by some representative from the Johnson Automobile Agency. It contains several breakfast food coupons.
Isn't that strange?
It certainly is. Another package is from the Yellow Arrow Agency. And here is one from the Centerville Used Car Emporium.
All containing coupons, Father?
All containing coupons.
Do you suppose they're giving breakfast food coupons with cars this year?
You boys aren't by any chance saving breakfast food coupons, are you?
Saving them?
I hope that no one in this town thinks that I've reached the age where I save them.
No, I should think not.
At first, I was afraid you boys might be taking advantage of the fact I was considering a car. But knowing you as I do, I'm sure that bribery would be the last thing either of you would stoop to.
Yes, sir. If there's one thing that's terrible, it's bribery.
It certainly is. And it's one thing I never tolerate.
Yes, sir.
I'll tie these up again.
You mean you're going to return them?
I certainly don't know why I should keep them. But let's get back to what you were going to tell me.
Why, Freddie, do you remember what it was?
It certainly skipped my memory.
I had it right on the tip of my tongue, Judge Thompson. I couldn't tell you now if I had to.
Freddie, what in the world do you have wadded up inside your shirt?
Oh, that must be my underwear.
What do? Just carry it there? I see Henry's does the same thing.
Yeah, mine keeps slipping down.
I'll answer the phone, Father.
I'll answer it, thank you. I'll take it upstairs. It may be the call I'm expecting.
Freddie, take a look out the window.
What?
Coming up the walk. It's Mr. Johnson.
It is a fine time for him to come.
Didn't I tell you I should have confessed?
I certainly didn't stop you. You go to the door, Henry.
You go yourself. This is your house.
Freddie, you see who it is at the door, please.
Oh, is somebody there?
Here I am, boys, as good as my word.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, we don't feel we should be of any more trouble to you.
Now, don't you worry about that. The car is right out in front. And by the way, here are some more blotters for you.
Freddie?
Yes, Father?
Who is at the door?
A man with some blotters.
Wasn't that your dad that called?
Yes, sir.
Ask him to come along with us.
I don't think he'd have time, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, it'll do him good to get out for a ride.
I don't think we'd better even bother him.
Well, let me step in and ask him.
Freddie, do you mind closing that door? It's causing a draft up here.
See how nervous he is?
And if we like the car, that's all that counts with him.
Well, okay.
You wait in the car, and we'll be with you just as soon as we get our things on.
Hurry up, Henry. Get your coat. We gotta get out of here.
Freddie, take a look out the window.
Why?
There are two more men coming up the walk, and they both got cars out by the curb.
They're crazy. There are 4 cars out there, and 2 station wagons are just pulling up.
Let's go out the back door.
And leave him here with my father?
Well, I don't want them.
You suppose we could get in Mr. Johnson's car and tell all the rest to follow?
And what?
And give them each a try along the way.
Sure, have a demonstration of 9 cars all at once, I suppose.
How do you do?
I was sent up here from the Marvel Car Agency, and I'm from the Honest Duty Company.
Yes, sir. We'll be right out as soon as we get our coats.
And could you please tell the others to wait in their cars?
And would you mind my asking about how many cars your father is buying?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah, but he's going to be very open-minded about it.
Sure, I can see that.
Boy, I'll say.
Come on, Freddie.
Going out, boys?
Oh, yes, sir.
I want you to take a look out the window.
Out the back window?
Out the front window. Those cars out there. What do you suppose it is? A parade?
Well, maybe it's a traffic jam.
I wonder who that could be.
I didn't see anyone come up the walk.
Suppose you let me go to the door.
Oh, I'd just as soon answer it, Judge Thompson.
Why, Henry, you bumped into a chair.
I'll pick it up.
And I will go to the door.
Well, Freddie, here's where everything busts open.
And all because of an idea you had.
I didn't think of all of it. At least I didn't think of this part.
Well, how do you do?
How do you do, Judge?
Henry.
Is Mrs. Thompson
It's
here?
your mother.
I was just passing by, and I wondered whether she might be in.
Would you like to have me go home with you, Mother?
Wait a minute. You're not going to leave me with all the gang out there.
But my mother may want some help.
Henry, I don't need any help.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Thompson is out.
Perfectly all right, Judge Thompson. My goodness, Henry, let me fix your shirt.
I can fix it all right, thank you.
What did it do, dear? Shrink?
That's the way they wear them this year.
Oh. By the way, Henry, this isn't why I dropped in, but have you seen your father's humidor around the house anyplace?
His humidor? You mean that big sort of a mahogany box?
Yes.
I wonder whether that's the same one that's up under my bed.
I hope, Henry, you haven't taken to smoking your father's cigars.
Oh, no, Judge Thompson. I've just been using it to keep my coupons in.
Your coupons?
Did I say coupons?
Yes, Henry. You said coupons.
Well, that's what I mean, coupons.
Soap coupons, Henry?
Yeah, soap coupons.
What soap, dear?
Why, I wonder what that could be. Couldn't I answer that door, please?
Stay right where you are, son.
Yes, dear. Never open a door that belongs to somebody else.
How do you do, sir?
Judge Thompson, about how much longer is it going to be?
For what?
Why, for the demonstration.
You're planning a demonstration? A political demonstration?
A power demonstration. What the car can do.
You don't say so.
Of course, maybe there's a mistake someplace. You don't have two boys here, do you?
Two boys?
Yeah. Don't tell me I've been eating breakfast food 3 times a day just for nothing.
Boys?
You want us, Father?
Oh, there you are.
Freddie, look. There's a man here to give us a demonstration. I guess.
Hello there.
You boys are buying a car?
Well, not for ourselves. We're just looking into it for somebody.
For whom, dear?
For my Sunday school teacher, Mr. Sutherland.
Are you coming?
Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye.
Isn't it funny? Your father didn't say more?
Now listen, is your dad buying a car or isn't he?
That's just what I was going to ask.
Sure. He's going to buy a car.
Are you sure? Because my family's eaten enough breakfast food in the last week to use up the commission on 3 cars.
The trouble is, my father's sending all the coupons back to you.
Good, that's just fine. And until he buys a car, we keep them.
And you can thank yourselves for that noise.
Don't you think we'd better tell a few of them to go home, Henry?
No, Freddie, I've got a swell idea.
Another one?
Let's get in Mr. Johnson's car and tell the rest to follow him.
Where to?
Out to the edge of town.
All of them?
Sure. And on the way, Mr. Johnson, would you mind driving me by my girl's house over on Walnut Street?
Now listen, boys, you've timed all 9 of us in first gear. You've timed all 9 of us in second gear. You've even timed all 9 of us in reverse. There isn't anything more a car can do.
There's just one thing more, Mr. Johnson.
There is.
Sure. This is a peach of a road, and there's hardly any traffic on it. Couldn't all 9 of you line up and we'll have a race?
A race? 9 cars have a race on a public highway?
Why not?
Are you crazy? And anyhow, there aren't 9 of us anymore.
What became of the rest?
They've given up breakfast food and have gone back to their normal life.
You mean the sale is between us 2?
It is.
Well, why can't we see you 2 race?
Oh, no.
You're afraid to.
What do you mean I'm afraid to?
Certainly looks it.
It wouldn't be a race. I'd leave them so far behind.
Says who?
I do.
Well, line up then.
You will race?
If it's speed you want, we'll give it to you.
How fast does Judge Thompson usually drive a car?
Oh, quite fast as a rule.
He does? Well, then, this is the car for him.
Oh, here he is.
All set?
He's all ready, Henry. I'll start him.
Oh, no. No. Let me start them. It was my idea, Freddie.
Okay.
Get on your mark. Get set.
Got her, Mr. Johnson?
I've got her. Go.
Hey, Freddie.
Whoa.
Can't you sort of open her up, Mr. Johnson?
It is open.
Yeah, but he's way ahead.
We'll beat him or I'll give you the car.
Look at her pickup, Freddie.
We're passing him.
Keep her open, Mr. Johnson.
He's shooting ahead.
I haven't even started to go. What could that be?
Maybe there's a fire someplace.
It's a policeman.
Yeah, he's racing too.
I might have known this.
You mean You mean we can't finish the race?
All right, stay right where you are. What is this, anyhow?
Oh, we were just racing, officer.
That's going to be a big help.
You know what the law permits?
Yes, sir.
All right, follow me back to town.
We're going to have an escort. We certainly are.
Pull over to one side and let this car that's coming go by.
Freddie, look who it is.
Who is it?
Well, Judge, you couldn't have come along at a better time.
Uh-oh. It's my father.
Something gone wrong, boys?
Where did you get the new car, Dad?
I bought it, Betty. It was delivered just after you left.
It was.
Is that right?
Judge, you ought to take $10 from both of these men. They were demonstrating for the boys, weren't they?
We were.
Yes, yes. Well, report at the courthouse tomorrow morning, gentlemen, and I'll give you both a good talking to.
What becomes of the coupons we saved?
We'll turn those over to the police department. Perhaps they can get some new instruments for the band.
Where did you buy your car, Judge Thompson?
Didn't you know, Henry, that during the week your Sunday school teacher sells cars?
Him?
Yes.
Well, what do you know about that?
Henry Aldrich will be back with us in just a moment. We don't like to think, ladies and gentlemen, that Jell-O puddings could ever create what might be termed a domestic situation. But, just listen to our latest letter of the week. The author, Mr. Rodman Powell of San Francisco, is here in our Hollywood studio right now, enjoying a visit to the City of Stars as a guest of those star desserts, Jell-O puddings. And I'm going to ask him if he'll just read us what he wrote. Mr. Powell.
My favorite Jell-O pudding is chocolate. And it used to be that when my wife served it, she always made my dish a bit larger than the rest. Well, that started trouble right away. First, my daughter gave me a big hug and kiss and wanted to trade dishes with me. Next week, my son offered me a free copy of the magazine he sells if I'd trade with him. So now we always make up 2 packages for each meal instead of one. And we all have extra big dishes. My wife doesn't mind because it's as easy to prepare 2 boxes as one. And in this way, everybody's happy.
So everything's all right now, Mr. Powell.
To tell the truth, I don't know whether it is or not. There's some talk about 3 packages for each meal, and we may end up with 4, one for each of us. Because when it comes to Jell-O puddings, about the only word my family seems to know is more.
Well, that just proves that you folks know a good thing when you taste it. And speaking of more and more families every day are discovering the smooth, mellow delight of Jell-O chocolate pudding, exclaiming over its rich, old-fashioned chocolatey flavor. They like Jell-O vanilla and butterscotch pudding, too, and they enjoy them often because they're easy and economical to serve. So try these 3 delicious new Jell-O puddings yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You'll say you never tasted anything so good.
You know, Mary, Mr. Putney says I have a perfect lip for it.
A perfect lip for what, Henry?
For the cornet, Mary. He says he'll have me playing Jingle Bells by Christmas.
And where will the rest of us be by then?
Yeah, but once you get used to the cornet, it'll develop your musical appreciation.
Well, musical appreciation with fanfares, frills, trills, and many laughs will be coming your way next week, so be sure to listen at the same time for more adventures of Henry Aldrich. The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, is written by Clifford Goldsmith. Original music composed and conducted by Felix Mills. Don Wilson speaking and wishing you good night for those delicious new desserts all America's talking about, Jell-O puddings.
I hope you enjoyed these great old radio shows. If you'd like to say hello, you can find me on Twitter at ThisDayBenny.